A Meetpoint in GemCut Studio is a design tool which allows the user to ensure the cutting plane intersects exactly with a given three-dimensional point while setting up a cut. This is the equivalent of traditional Meetpoint faceting, with the additional functionality of locking certain controls in the cut setup to ensure this point is always intersected. There are two ways to add Meetpoints in the application. The first is through the Jump button. As we play with controls, our cutting plane will show a jump point where it will next intersect with the gem. If we hit the jump button, our cutting plane will jump to that point. Then the next jump point will be highlighted. Now after every jump, the Meet button gets enabled. If the Meet button is pressed at this point, a Meetpoint lock will be added at the intersection of our cutting plane and the gem before we did the last jump. Now that our Meetpoint is locked, we've lost control over the depth because we need to ensure it always intersects with this point, but we can still modify the angle or base index, and the application will make sure that our cutting plane always intersects that Meetpoint. We can clear any Meetpoints by pressing this button. The second way to add Meetpoints is using this Add Meet button in the design view. When the button is pressed, text is displayed in the design view, inviting the user to either select a point of intersection of existing facets or an edge. Moving the mouse cursor over each edge or point brings it into focus by highlighting it. And clicking confirms selection of what's being highlighted. The design view can be rotated and zoomed in at this stage if we need more precision in finding our point. If the selection is an edge, a pop-up will be shown to aid with setting up the Meetpoint along the edge. The pop-up can be moved by dragging its title. And when the pop-up is shown, a small dot is shown along the edge where the current Meetpoint would be set. A slider and edit field provide a way to move the Meetpoint along the edge with precision, or the ratio can be set using one of the predefined buttons at the top. Pressing the Add button confirms the selection and adds the edge point as a meet. After a Meetpoint's added, the cutting plane will always attempt to intersect the chosen Meetpoint, regardless of how a base index or masked angle is changed. Note that Meetpoints are always in relationship to the primary base index cutting plane. If we're viewing our gem from the other side and we attempt to add a meet over here, what's going to happen is the application will try to resolve where the cutting plane intersects with this meet, but to do so we'll end up traveling along the whole gem and we'll end up with either nothing or the wrong result. It's very important to be aware of where the current base index cutting plane is and to use that as the reference for our Meetpoints. If we actually need to meet to the other side, then we need to change the base index to come to the other side to do the operation. In cases where mirror is set, you'll notice that the mirrored plane is drawn slightly more transparent than the primary plane. So again, Meetpoints are always in relation to the primary plane. So we need to focus on where the primary plane intersects and not this secondary mirror plane. So if we add a meet here, thinking this plane is going to come here, what's actually happening is the primary plane is trying to intersect it, and the secondary plane or the mirrored plane has gone too far. When one Meetpoint is locked in, The base index and mast angle values can still be adjusted, but the depth will be locked out. If we add a second meet point, notice that when we add a second meet point, the effect of the first meet point's cut will be temporarily hidden in order to help locate the desired point or edge. So if two meet points are set, then only the base index can be changed. In most cases, the angle will just follow and can't be set. The reason we can't set the angle is it could result in fractional index values and therefore not allowed.